Okay, so now we are going to start bundle 10 model 2 question number 1 of that. An object's speed is 64 yards per second. What is the object's speed in feet per second? So that is the question of unit conversion. Now there is a very easy way to do the unit conversions. For example, let me do it 64 yards per second. So you can also represent per like this slash. So instead of doing either of the ways, I am writing it like this, right? Just to calculate, I am writing it like this. Now I have to convert it into feet per second. Feet per second. So numerator is not changed, right? Denominator is not changed. It's as it is. Only numerator has to be converted from yards to feet. So we will not touch the denominator at all. And let's see what the numerator is. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So we have 64 yards. So 64 yards is equal to how many feet? 3 times 64, which is 192. So that is 192. Okay. Now we can write the proper answer. 192 feet per second. So D is the right option. Now question is done, right? I am doing the concept a little bit more. So you can ignore this. If you want to go to the next question, you can go to, but I am explaining the concept. Suppose instead of yards per second, the question says convert, okay, instead of yards per second, instead of feet per second, question says convert it into feet per minute. Then how will you do it? Take the numerator and denominator separately. So 64 yards is 3 times 64 is feet. Numerator conversion is done. Now let's come to denominator. Seconds are to be converted into minutes. So when 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, then 1 second is equal to 1 over 60 minutes. So convert it like 1 over 60, right? Do not need, you are not needed to write each and every single step for that. Go for numerator and denominator separately. So it's 3 times 64 times 60 feet per minute. Now you can use the calculator and find whatever the product is, right? Okay. I hope you are going with the basic concept that every time you do not need to write feet over second, second over minute and then cancellation thing. No, just do it this way. Question number 2. Sorry. The scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables x and y. A line of best fit is also shown. Okay, perfect. Which of the following equation best represents the line of best fit? See, whenever we are dealing with MCQs, always see the options first, what they are asking. Now, if I see the equation is asked, and if you go by the normal method, okay, you are going to use y is equal to mx plus b, and then find the y-intercept, and then find the slope and everything. That is the regular method. But if I see this question, C and D have negative slope, right? And if the slope is negative, that means rise over run is negative. And then this line shows this angle greater than 90 degree. Then it is the negative slope. But if I go to my graph, it is a positive slope. Rise over run is positive. So that means C and D options are deleted. Okay. Now we have to select from A and B. Okay. Now if I check the difference between A and B, both the slopes are positive. In the equation 1, the y-intercept is positive, and in second, that means B equation, y-intercept is negative. And if we go to our graph, the y-intercept is showing a positive value. That means A is the right option. I have taken this much time to explain you the question, but if you understand it, just imagine solving the whole question for M and B and then finding the equation, or just checking the concepts like this. Which one will be faster? You can go by that way. Okay. Number 3, bundle 10, module 2. Okay, a linear graph is given to us. The graph shows the linear relationship between x and y, which table gives three values of x and y, their corresponding values of y for this relationship. Now again, as I said, whenever these are MCQs, go with the options first, check them. A, B, C, D, all options have the same input 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so that means we have to check the values of the graph at 0, 1 and 2. Now if I check this graph, this y-intercept is -5. So 0 and 0, it's deleted, right? This is deleted. This is deleted. Okay, 0 and -5, so options is from C or D. Now let's go back to the graph and check when x is 1, what is the value of y? So when x is 1, the value of y is -3, this one, right? That means 1 and -3 is our right option. D is the right option. Now if you want to do the whole question, so in every option you have to check the corresponding value of y when x is 0, 1 and 2. So you can write the coordinates here. When x is 0, 1 and 2, check from the graph. When x is 0, y is -5. And when x is 1, y is -3. And when x is 2, when x is 2, y is -1. Right? So the coordinates are 0, -5, 1 and -3, 2 and -5. Let's go to the graph. So yes, D is the right option. Your way, how you are comfortable with. Okay. Question 4. What is the perimeter in inches of a rectangle with a length of 4 inches and width of 9 inches? See what the perimeter is. Perimeter is actually boundary of whatever figure you are taking. So here it's a rectangle. If I draw a rectangle like this, right? This is a rectangle when opposite sides are equal, but all the sides are not equal. So that is rectangle. And length of it's 4 and width is 9. So that means this will also be 4 and this will also be 9, right? When you are doing the perimeter, that means you are doing 9 plus 9 plus 4 plus 4. So 18 plus 4 plus 4, 22 plus 4, 26. So I have done the whole calculations because I just want to tell you, but you can do it orally in your head and click the answer, right? Okay. Question number 5. The given equations relate the positive numbers m, n and p, m, n and p. Which equation correctly gives m in terms of m and p? So when it says m in terms of n, m and n and p, that means you have to keep n at the left hand side and n and p on the right hand side. Now we know what is to be done. So let's start our work from that. For that, it's already here. M is on one side and n and p are on the other side. But because we have to do m only, so that means this 7 is not needed here, right? So we will divide 7 by 7 on both sides. By 7. So this 7 is, this 7 is cancelled and we are left with m is equal to 2 n plus p by 7. So A is the right option. Now what this question is checking, because it's saying write m, n and p, the 7 is deleted, right, which is not correct according to the given equation. Now whatever is multiplied, if you want to delete that, you have to divide it by that number and it is subtracting, so it's also not working, and this one is definitely not true. So A is the right option. Okay. Question number 6, we have to find the median of the data shown. Okay, so whenever we have to find the median, we consider three things. First, the observation should be in ascending order. That means the smallest number one first and then keep on increasing. Here it is already in the increasing order: 73, 74, 75, 77, 79, 82, 84, 85 and 91. Second thing we check is how many observations are there. That means number of observations: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So number of observations are 9. And third point is selecting the formula according to the observations, either these are odd or even. So whenever number of observations are odd, formula for the median is n plus 1 by 2th observation, right? So what is n? That means number of observations, that is 9. So 9 plus 1 by 2th observation, or 10 by 2th observation, or 5th observation, right? So let's see what the 5th observation is. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So 79 is the median. Now as I said, 0.2 depends upon number of observations are odd or even. Let's see what if the number of observations are even. Let's add one more into it, or let's say it is 93, right? Now I have to find the median. Now I have total 10 observations, right? So when the observations are even, we apply the form. We have already done the question. I'm just going that extra mile. Then the formula for median is n by 2th plus n by 2 plus 1th by 2, the average of two values. So what is n? 10. So 10 by 2th plus 10 by 2 plus 1th over 2. So 10 by 2th is fifth observation, and 10 plus 1, 10 by 2, 5 plus 1, sixth observation, divided by 2. So fifth observation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and this. So 79 plus 82 by 2. 161 by 2, 80.5 is the median. So first you have to check number of observations are even or odd, and then apply the formula. Now at the end, let's write both the formulas when the number of observations are even and odd. Now I'm only writing the formula. So when n is equal to even, because there is a very important point, where most of the children get confused. So I'm writing it. So when is equal even number of observations are there, it is n by 2th plus n by 2 plus 1th observation by 2, right? And when n is equal to odd, it is n plus 1 whole by 2th observation. Remember that, right? So write these two formulas in your rule book. I hope if you are watching the videos from a long time, you must have noticed I always say that you must have a rule book that is kind of a quick handout when you are going for exams, right? You don't have the time to revise each and everything. There, what helps? This list of formulas. So if you have not made yet, take a small notebook, write it rule book, and divide it into sections. So one section is for stats, and write all these kind of formulas there. They will be like your best friends during the exams, when you will have all the collected information at one place, right? Let's start question 7 of second module of bundle 10. The function f is defined by fx is equal to 4x. For what value of x does fx is equal to 8? So here fx is the output, right? And this x is the input. Now for what values of x? That means here input is missing, but output is 8. That is what our question is. So fx is equal to 4x, and fx is the output. That means it is 8, which is equal to 4x, and we need to calculate x. So to isolate x, we have to divide by 4 on both sides. X is equal to 2. So when f is 2, f of 2 is 8. Okay. Let's come to next question, question number 8. Of 3 lakh paper clips, 2 lakh 34,000 are large size paper clips. What percent of paper clips are size large? See, I'll do this question by two methods. One is the actual percent calculation method, and second I will use ratio method. You will see both are leading to the same situation finally. So let's do percentage first. When we do it with direct method, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we multiply it by 100 and divide it by 100. And this 1 over 100, when I say 100 over 100, let's cancel the zeros. So 3 zeros from here and 3 zeros from here. 2 zeros cancel this. So I'm just left with 234 over 3 into 1 over 100. Now what is this percent? This percent means when total is 100, right? So I can write this 1 over 100 as percent. So that is 234 by 3%. 234 by 3 is 78%. That is one way. Second way is, if total are 3 lakh, then large ones are these. And when total is 100, what is the number of large ones? That is the meaning of percentage. Percentage is a fraction where total is 100, right? So that means this is missing. So what I will do, I will multiply by 100 on both sides. So that is 2, 3, 4, 0, 0, 0 over 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 100. That is x percent, right? So now if you solve it, 3 zeros with 3, 2 with 2, again you are at the same answer. X is equal to 78. 78%, that means when total is 78. But you must have observed we are ending at the same step. So choose whichever way is comfortable with you. Both are correct. Okay. Let's come to the ninth one. Fx is equal to 8x plus 4. Okay, a linear equation. The function f gives the estimated height in feet of a willow tree x years after its height was first measured. Which statement is the best interpretation of 4 in this context? Okay. Now if we compare it, y is equal to mx plus b. So this b is the initial value. That means when you have not started any observation yet, and that is the very initial thing. That means if x is the years, so when years are 0, that means in the beginning, what is that v is? B is. So here that b is 4, right? The tree will be measured each year for 4 years. No. It was in the beginning when we did not even start the counting. The tree is estimated to grow to a maximum of 5. No, that is the initial value. The estimated height of the tree increased by 4%. No, that increase, that means that is the slope, which is 8 here, not 4, right? Okay, I'll just give you the link for linear equations where I have explained the whole linear equation thing in the form of stories. When it is increasing, when it is decreasing, please go there and see that, because as for SAT, this linear and exponentials are kind of, favorite chapters, every aspect of it. Okay. The estimated height of the tree was 4 feet when it was first measured. Yes, D is the right option. Question number 10th. Y is equal to 76 and y is equal to x square minus 5. Okay. The graphs of the given equation in the xy plane intersect at the xy plane. What is the possible value of x? So that means whatever are the values of x and y, they will satisfy both. So because we are solving the simultaneous system, so now we have to find one solution. We can equate this is equal to y and this is also equal to y. So that means x squared minus 5 is equal to 76. We have to calculate for x. So adding 5 on both sides, 76 plus 5, x squared is equal to 81. Now here is an important concept. Whenever you square root, then x will have positive and negative value, right? So x squared square root and positive and negative both. Okay, so here the rules of exponents are used when it is x squared, right? And the square root sign has power 1 by 2. So that means that is x is equal to. Now square root of 81 is 9. So that is plus minus 2. Let's explain this a little bit more. When I put x is equal to negative 9, or when I take x is equal to negative 9 and square it becomes positive 81. And when I do x is equal to positive 9 and square it, again it is 81. So when it is given to me that x squared is equal to 81, I am not sure the value of x is positive 9 or negative 9. So it can have both the values. Okay, now let's go to the option. What is the possible value for x? Yes, it can be negative 9 or positive 9, and because it is said possible value, so yes, negative 9 is also possible with plus 9 or positive 9. Okay, question number 11. Each side of an equilateral triangle S is multiplied by a scale factor of k to create equilateral triangle T. I'm sorry. The length of each side of triangle T is greater than the length of each side of triangle S. Okay, let's see both points very carefully. First, this one, because we are talking about scale factor, right? That means the new figure is not of exact size but of exact angles. Now let's say this is our first triangle, right? It's an equilateral triangle, so all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. And let's draw another one which is also an equilateral triangle, but this time side is not same to that of this, but angles are same. So these three figures are said to be uh, similar, or this one is dilated. Now if I draw a third one, okay, because I have already drawn a smaller one, so I have to go with this one. So this is the original, right? This is its first uh, drawn similar figure. This one is second. Now this figure is smaller. O2 is smaller than the original one. So yes, it will also be said as diluted, right? Dilated, sorry. And this is also dilated. So O is the original one. O1 is dilated but bigger than original. And O2 is also dilated, but it will be smaller than original. Maybe this side is 4. So this is 4 and this is 4. And this one is 8, this is 8 and this is 8. And for this, the sides are 2 and 2 and 2. So original side is 2. In S1 side is, side is 4. In this one side is 2. So here the scale factor is half, because every time you are just taking the half of the original one, and here the scale factor is 2. This concept you have to learn for this question. So this is the original figure. O2 is smaller than this, right? Where side is 2, here side is 4, and O1 is greater than this, where side is 8. So because it is getting half, so scale factor is half. It is getting doubled, so scale factor is double. Now let's do one more observation in this question to answer this particular question. When it is bigger, this scale factor is greater than 1. When it is smaller, this scale factor is smaller than 1. So in our question, okay, I have to rub this because I hope you get the concept. Yeah. So which of the following could be the values of k? Because triangle T is greater than that of us, so that means scale factor will be greater than 1. And it is 1? No, it's same. No, 0. Okay. When you do 28 by 29, its value is less than 1. But because triangle T is greater than us, so its value should be greater than 1. So A is the right option. A little bit tricky one, so you can comment me if you found any doubt. Otherwise, I hope that is clear. Question number 10. 12 bundle 10 model 2 66x is equal to 66x. How many solutions does the given equation have? Okay, if we solve it, right, just imagine both our equations are equal, right? So whatever value of x you plug in here, right hand side will be the same. For example, if I plug 2, right, that will be 66 times 2, and so is the right hand side. If you plug 10, 20, 30, whatever is that, every time this equality will be true. So that means there are infinite solutions to this equation. That means whatever value you put on the left hand side and on the same right hand side, every single time they will give you the equal output. That is why it has infinite many solutions. Okay. Let's come to question number 13. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. Each package of party hats cost $3 and each cupcake costs $1. If Vivian bought 10 packages of party hats, how many cupcakes did she buy? Okay, let's do a simple shopping first. Let's say you have to buy 5 chocolates, right? And cost of one chocolate is $2. So how much money you have to pay? 10, right? So here 5 is the number of chocolates, $2 is cost per chocolate, and $10 is the cost for 5 chocolates for which you are going to pay. So this is how it works. Now let's say I don't know the cost of one chocolate, right? And now it's a variable, so I'll say it x. Okay. Let's see this in our question. Vivian bought party hats and cupcakes for $71. And if each party hat is $3, so that means cost for one party hat is given, which is 3. And let's say we don't know the number of party hats, let's say that is B. And each cupcake costs $1. So $1 is the cost and C is the total number of cupcakes, as 5 is the number of chocolates here. Now let's say you are buying 5 chocolates, 2 per cost, plus you are buying 5 cupcakes and 3 is the cost for each, $15. So the total cost you are paying 15 plus 10, $25. In this question, total cost is $71. So 3, if one party hat is for $3 and we don't know the number of party hats, so let's say it's P, and $1 is the cost for cupcakes, and let's say C are the number of cupcakes, then total cost is $71. Okay, that much part is decoded. If Vivian bought 10 party hats of packages of party hats, this time this is given to me. Okay, how many cupcakes did she buy? I don't know the C, so that is what needs to be calculated. 30 plus C is equal to 78. Now the next part is we have to solve the equation. So subtracting 30 on both sides, C is equal to 41. So now if we check our answer, that if 10 party hats are purchased and 3 is the cost of one party hat, and 41 cupcakes are purchased and 1 is the cost of one cupcake. So 30 plus 41, 71 is the total cost. So what I am doing here, right? Whenever we are in stress, we calculate and later on we check if we get the time that our answer is right or wrong, right? Now I am checking it with a totally different scenario, with a totally different way, that whatever answer I have calculated, this one, I'm just plugging in the equation one more time, and if the cost is $71 as total, that means I'm going right. So solution ends here, right? Number of cupcakes is 41, and this one is for checking. If you learn this extra part, this is kind of giving you the confidence that yes, your answer is correct and you do not have to check it one more time. Try to understand this too. because this gives a lot of confidence. Let's come to question number 14. The exponential equation g is defined by gx is equal to 19 times a raised to the power x, where a is a positive constant. If we see this equation, so gx is output. Whatever the situation is, this a is all, this number is always the initial value. That means whatever you process you are going to start, from here you are starting. So that is the initial number. This a is, which is a here, is rate. At what rate is changing? That is the rate of change. And here that is the input. Okay. Now let's see this equation in this scenario. Okay, simple equation is there. Output is gx. 19 is the initial value. It's a to the power x. Now it's given g of 3 is equal to 2375. That means when I give input as 3, output comes out to be 2375. So g of 3 is equal to, first in first equation I'm just giving the input as 3, and in the second equation I'm just writing the value of g3, which is 2335, a to the power 3. Now because we need to calculate a, so a needs to be isolated. First step is dividing by 19 on both sides. Use the calculator. A cubed is equal to 125. Next step is we need a, not a cubed. So multiply by power 1 by 3 on both sides. You know, this I am explaining every single step, but what is assumed that you can simply write this answer like this. Okay, so okay, a is equal to, now this is 5 cubed raised to power 1 by 3, a is equal to 5. Yes, you know how to solve this, but you have to reach at a certain speed where you can calculate this a directly. Okay, next step is we need to calculate g4. That means this is our equation, and if input is 4, right, what is the, okay, that is x here, let's write the equation. If input is 4, what will be the output? That is our question. Value of a is 5 raised to power 4. So just use your calculator. Okay, so this is g of 4 is equal to 11825. Just go through the exponential, because see, linear equations and exponential equations, these are kind of favorite of SAT exams. They try to ask every possible question or situation out of these two equations. So I have made separate playlists for linear equations and for exponentials. These are kind of in the form of stories, so you can just go to the whole playlist and learn the concept well. If you learn the concept well, you will figure out, okay, these kind of questions are so much easy to handle with, right? Question number 15. In right triangle RST, the sum of measures of angle R and angle S is 90 degrees. Okay. The value of sine R is root 15 by 4. What is the value of cos S? Now, from the first statement, because it is a right triangle and sum of R and S is 90 degrees. So if I just draw a right triangle first, right, R and S is 90 degrees. So if this one is R and this one is R, that means this particular statement is giving me the clue that angle P is 90 degree, right? Because in right triangle, one angle is of 90 degree and sum of other two is 90 degree by angle sum property. Okay. Now sine R. When we come to sine theta, according to SOHCAHTOA, sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Right? Now theta depends what the this theta is R here. So if you see this one is opposite and opposite to 90 degree is always hypotenuse, right? So if this r is theta, then ps is opposite and rp is adjacent. But if theta is at s, then rp is opposite and ps is adjacent. So let's write it. If theta is at r, so whatever is the side opposite to it, then in that case opposite is ps, adjacent is rp or pr, and hypotenuse is always equal to 90 degrees. So in that case hypotenuse is equal to rs. Okay. Now if theta is at s, that case opposite will be opposite to s, pr, right? Adjacent will be ps. And hypotenuse never changes because it is a side opposite to 90 degree. So you see, if we are changing the position of the two acute angles, opposite and adjacent are changing their positions, right? And if I see this question, sine r and cos s. So first instinct is right, okay, this is a right triangle, right? So just put the values because this is r, this is s, and this is p. So it is given root 15 over 4. So opposite is this and hypotenuse is this because sine r is equal to root 15 over 4. And then use Pythagoras and then calculate the third side and do it. But later you will realize just because we are changing the position of the acute angle, these opposite and adjacent are changing their positions. So if I write the value of cos s from here, in case of s, adjacent is ps and hypotenuse is rr. And in case of sine r, opposite is ps and hypotenuse is rs. So these two are same, right? That means whatever is the value of sine r is the value of cos of s. Now if you realize this first or you have learned this property, you will not try to use Pythagoras here. You will strictly go with the property and whatever is the value of sine of r, which is root 15 by 4, it will have same as cos of s. So that means B is the right option. So in SAT exam, it is always said, questions are not difficult, right? It's like if a question is asked or if you know a question, you know every bit of it, every concept of it, every word used in that question or in your solution, what is the meaning of that? If you know that, then you are SAT ready. It's not about simplifying the questions at all. It's more about understanding the questions, right?